Hello, great day to you all. I hope you're having an awesome day wherever in the world you may be. Right now I stopped at a park, something I don't normally do, and I asked myself, I should come here more often, especially when we're out of quarantine, experience the beautiful views of Mother Nature, of being outside. So blessed to live where I live. Hey Ashley in Canada. Great day to you. Hello Maureen, welcome. I actually woke up this morning and it was overcast, and anyone else, my friends in South Florida, know that actually the last few days it's been overcast in Florida, and there's even been fires. So we've been grateful for all this rain, and I was blessed to be able to be connected with some amazing people and do some Zumba outside this morning. If you saw my live feed earlier. Hello Cindy, great day to you. Hello gorgeous, hello Michael, sorry. So believe it or not, never tell people, that you're nervous, but this live video is actually a little more nervous for me because of what I want to discuss. And some of you may be aware, my cans are shaking now. Some of you may be aware and some of you may not. Those that are aware, I recently lost one of my best friends. Hi Sarah. Hello Belle. And it's been a tough few days, and I'm actually here at the park. For my friends. Hugs to you, virtual hugs. And I thought to myself a few years ago when I lost my grandmother in 2017, I went through some emotional times, and I went through some experiences that I never had before, as that was, for the first time in my life, someone I lost that was super close to me. And as I'm talking to my best friend's family, please say prayers for them, because I've been speaking with them, and I realized that, there's actually a grieving process. Thanks, Anna. Hello, Melissa. Thanks, sorry. There's a grieving process that people go through, and I always wished that, after the fact, that after my grandmother passed and I went through the grieving process, I then looked it up because I was going through these emotions, and I thought to myself, I've never experienced these emotions before. And I wanted to know, where they were coming from. And there is actually, if you're not aware, there's a grieving process that human beings go through. And there's 5 steps. And I wish someone would have explained that to me when, my grandmother passed, because to know what humans' emotions, experiences, sensitivity, all these things that rush through, it's important to know what you're going to experience. So I shared that with the family, and I thought to myself, why not share it with everybody? Why not share it with the world? Because in reality, and it's not a word that I use very frequently, those that know me, in reality, that's what we're here for. We're here for connection. We're here for support. We're here to build each other up. We're here to bring, ideas to the forefront and create with each other. You ever been in a group where you've actually been able to realize that the bigger the group, the more knowledge brings to the table, and the more inventions and ideas and, visionaries and all these things come. So it's important that we stay connected through, this process. And I just want to share with you guys, there are 5 steps to grieving. The first step is denial and isolation. And I remember looking back with my grandmother, that was a huge part for me, because they're the 5 steps that I'm going to explain to you. Not necessarily everyone goes through, and I'm going to post the article and the picture in the comments below after this live feed. But for me, isolation was huge, and definitely denial played a huge part as well, because we never want any of our loved friends and family and people we know to pass and move on. But one thing that is important that we do realize is I truly believe in afterlife. And not something I've actually ever shared online. I was born Jewish. My mother's from Jerusalem. She was born there. And just in 2014, I became a believer of the story of Christ. Now, a lot of you guys would say that I'm a Christian, but I've come to terms that for me, I'm a spiritual person, and I believe in the Bible, and I believe in the stories that have been created. And I think that there's just always more to the stories. So I definitely believe in an afterlife. And there's a reason why I'm here at the park, and I never come here to the park. And just know that staying isolated and being in denial is temporary. And for me, through the process this time with my friends, I granted myself one day. And I said, one day you're going to be, just for one day, just yesterday, you're allowed to just be in isolation. And not even the whole day. I ended up going to my parents and spending time with them, and just recognizing that when I wake up, which was this morning, that I'm going to get back to achieving what I know what my friend would want us to do. Want us to get back to, doing what we're here supposed to be doing, and pursuing our purpose in life. And I've been so blessed to be able to find my purpose through a vehicle in the industry of travel, the number 1 industry in the world. And what I would tell you is that the first step of denial and isolation in the grieving process is to give yourself a timeline. Allow yourself to grieve and be isolated, and allow that to process for you. Now, everyone is different, of course. Not everyone may go through that, but give yourself a time period and say, okay, whether it's 2 weeks, whether it's a month, whether it's a day, whether it's hours. And it's not just for, grieving for the loss of a loved one. It could be grieving for, a disease or any grievance that people go through. Step 2 is anger. And I remember looking back at my grandmother that I was definitely very angry. I don't know if that process will affect me this time. I think that with the personal development that I've been able to digest and experience for the last 10 years of my life through our travel club, which I personally think a lot of people think that our company is a personal development company disguised as a travel club. So I definitely have been able to understand where that anger comes from, and just, again, it's how I respond to what life happens to me, right? The third step of the grieving process is bargaining. This is not a step that I'm actually familiar with, because I don't recall with my grandmother bargaining for anything. Maybe somebody may think like, why didn't you take my life or instead of their life? I would assume that may be bargaining, but like I said, I don't have much experience on this, because I'm just very grateful for every day that we have here. And I've been able to look at life at a different angle because of the growth that I've been able to develop in the last 10 years. I'm just so grateful that I have the opportunity to inspire and motivate people to achieve their goals. So, God forbid if something were to happen to me, then my life has been fulfilled, because I know that everything up until this moment has been a true blessing, and I appreciate every moment that we have here. Step 4, the grieving process of, not step 4, but number 4 is depression. And this one can be, a big deal because it's not healthy to be depressed. If anything, we should be grateful that our loved ones are in peace now. Because if you're a believer, you know that there's heaven. And I truly believe that there is a place that people can go and just be in peace. And I believe that, my friend and everyone that has ever passed in my life has now found peace. And that's the best thing, because here on earth, we know the fear, the lies, the things that society surrounds us with, right? So that doesn't exist. And there's so many more things that I'm actually learning about the spiritual world and, what happens after life. And, this is something that we all are interested in, right? And then the last thing in the grieving process is the last step is acceptance. And for me, with my grandmother, it took some time to accept that she was no longer here. But I remember always that she's dancing and she's happy and she's, loving life. And I feel the same, for my friend. He's at peace. He's not hurting. And of course, we all want him here for many reasons. But now we all have the best angel of all, guiding us, being there with us. And I would add to the grieving process that support is huge. It's huge. It's vital in everything that we do. Support is everything. And the family that I've been able to be a part of and create through our company has been so supportive in all angles of my life. And a lot of you have already reached out, and I appreciate everybody that has. And just remember, we have each other's back, right? Back to back. In the military, we say we leave no man behind. So if anyone is grieving, if anyone is going through this process with us, know that I have your back, and I know you have mine. So let's make the best of today. Let's remember the great things in life, and let's also remember that on the other end, it's peace, and it's harmony, and it's love, and that's where we all want to go. So stay strong. You guys can always reach out. My number is actually posted on social media if you haven't noticed. And I'm here for you. Thank you for being here for me.